When Diddy's arrest hit the headlines last September, Katt Williams saw an opportunity. He went to Instagram stories, reshared an AI mashup of Puffy's mugshot on Wesley Snipes in New Jack City, and captioned it, "Diddy about to snitch on everybody." That joke exploded. Online fans everywhere were saying the same thing. If anyone's going to flip to save himself, it's going to be Diddy. But Katt didn't stop at a one-off punchline. Remember Katt's old podcasts where he casually dropped names like Tyler Perry, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, and Ludacris at the time. It sounded like petty personal attacks, but some of those exact names, Jay-Z, Aaron Hall, Harv Pierre, and more, appear in the actual court documents against Diddy. Katt wasn't just joking. Around, he was planting clues. And now we're about to connect the dots between stand-up comedy and a federal scandal.
Yeah, I was trying to do something there that hadn't been done. I thought that I had figured out the algorithm mathematically, and I thought that I could show that. And when I wrote it out to kill the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs so that the comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story. I'm gonna tell this, but you know what else I know. So, yeah, I was...
Do you want to tell any of those stories now?
Well, I'm saying...
I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. T.G. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
So Katt Williams said it. The lawsuit started coming out right after he said it, and he said all would be exposed. He heavily implied, and this is again an allegation, that Lucien Grange was having some sort of a homosexual relationship with Diddy. So he is the person that controls Diddy, that Lucien Grange was aware of these parties, that Universal Music Group was aware of these parties. Essentially, that Diddy is the thug and the gangster working on behalf of Lucien Grange. They did not know that he was recording them. I mean, when I read through that lawsuit, Rodney made it very clear that he had hidden cameras. And if you are a person like LeBron who says ain't no party like a Diddy party, you got Ashton Kutcher talking about what happens at Diddy parties stays at Diddy parties. And finally you learn via the press that actually Diddy has been collecting evidence on all of you, and you don't know where those tapes are. That will buy your silence for quite some time, because you're hoping that if you keep your head low, you're not going to be revealed as one of these people that was engaged in some of these acts, whether they were heterosexual or homosexual. It doesn't matter. Maybe you're just cheating on your wife and you don't want that to get out into the public. Maybe you were, as Katt Williams described it, in one of the rooms. He said you could just walk around the house. He said this on stage years ago, that you could walk around the house and you would see people engaged in various sex acts. And again, Katt Williams was someone who was dismissed as crazy and dismissed as a drug addict. And it turned out that, or it seems that if these allegations are proven to be true, and I believe they are, then he was telling the truth.
Do you think that like stars and get offered that kind of thing, like to compromise themselves sexually for entertainment?
I was as shocked as anybody about how powerful Harvey Weinstein was at the time that I was meeting with him, and how he could not be told no. You follow what I'm saying?
They'll figure out some way.
Right. So I thought that didn't apply to me because I don't care about nothing but bitches and good business, right? In these scary situations, I don't even leave it up to me. Like, I'm going to do what the superhero would do in this part of the movie, regardless.
That's a good way to think about things in general.
Yeah.
What would the superhero...
Katt started with Tyler Perry on the surface. It looks like a comedian throwing shade when Katt jokes that Perry can't play a man to save his life. But behind the laugh is a fact few people know. When Perry was working on his first indie scripts, it was Diddy's team who stepped in. They helped fund his debut movies, arranged premieres in LA and New York, and handed out VIP invites to stars hungry for a preview. Those early boosts aren't in tabloids, but they show up in the fine print diary of a mad black woman, Madadia's family reunion. Perry might not admit it, but his launchpad ran through Bad Boy Playbook.
I heard that you bought a military base in Alabama. Is that true? A military base?
As starving comedians would do.
Now, I don't know if you're being truthful or not. Did you really buy one?
Yeah, Fort McClellan. Yeah, what? Because the reason why like my life works in golf and off the golf course is because I follow instruction well, right? Mm-hmm. So if I see somebody do a good job, I just want to do a good job.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow the example.
Yeah.
Right? So Tyler Perry got a military base.
That's correct.
Made it into a movie studio and started making movies. Katt Williams.
Bought a military base. Are you making movies?
I'm not wearing dresses.
I think the point. At what point in Tyler Perry's career was he Samuel L. Jackson or Denzel Washington? Which are the only two black men I can think of that never had a dress on.
Yeah, but I don't think it's about
at one point, it is about that. It is about that because he's the only black man that we already established has $1 billion for making movies. He's the only black man with his own studio, but he's also putting out material where he got a goddamn dress on every year.
Because
every time you turn around at every iteration of his success, be it the plays that took over and got him popular, be it the shit that he did on TBS, be it the first movies that he did, be it the movies that he does now. So what is his excuse for doing Madea content now?
Because there's an audience for it. There's an audience for it. There is an audience.
There's an audience for it.
Tyler Perry told his male actors they're not allowed to consort with me because I saw you at a Diddy party, Tyler. And you were having a glorious time. I spent a lot of time in Miami and I snuck around Star Island quite a bit. I know Christian isn't lying, but I need him to tell me what happened to my friends. And I don't care how long it's been since I talked to them. They will always be my friends. Always. Tim and Durrett and Lamont Rucker were not the same after they went on camera with Tyler Perry. Christian, I think you can tell me why.
Who else? Ricky Smiley, who learned the ins and outs of the industry at Diddy's private Atlanta parties. Those weren't open parties. They were invite-only nights. Puffy's crew controlled the guest list and handed out the guest passes. Ricky got on that list from there. He worked and talked his way into radio gigs and a hit TV show. Katt said that Smiley only shines in a dress, but the joke cuts deeper. It hints at how Ricky's rise to stardom happened through Big Boy headquarters. Long before he ever picked up a mic next voice, Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer aren't immune either. Katt accuses Harvey of stealing an old TV idea of his and claims Cedric lifted one of his best jokes 2 decades ago. Those barbs make for great headlines. But the real point is that both men have shaken Puffy's hand at charity galas funded by Bad Boy. They've hosted events designed to raise millions for education and youth outreach each time they thanked Diddy on stage. They solidified their partnership with him. Those smiles and fancy charity galas give us an inside look at a network of influence. Few viewers.
Why would you put that in your contract, Katt?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
But when you reported a long time ago that Jamie, that he mysteriously got sick, mysterious, and looked at it as alleged it was Diddy. But how do you, when you reported that back then, months ago, did you say, what was that in your reporting? Yeah, they were saying that Diddy, because Diddy and Jamie Foxx were good friends. And they broke up, they stopped being friends. And no, I'm telling you what they said. They that wait. They that wait on the Lord. All right, y'all, we gonna wrap up the house.
I Googled you to see what are the questions that people are wanting to know. Is Ricky Smiley married?
No.
Have you ever been married?
I was married.
Oh,
I was married for 12 years.
When?
Man, I was married back
Did I know you?
Back in the 90s. I think we probably had met and had been around each other, but my ex-wife, we are still close. She's a flight attendant for Delta.
Oh, okay.
And we was married, we was young, and I was married for 12 years.
Wow.
I had a beautiful, she's beautiful.
And y'all broke up after 12 years because...
I started doing comedy view and the streets start hitting.
Oh, no!
It even reaches into church walls that Jake preached at a gospel concert, sponsored by Diddy's team. Those crowds saw platinum seats with VIP ropes and press walls that look like album launches behind the hymns and sermons. Sat music execs and influencers picked by Bad Boys PR squad Katt. Mentions Jake in passing as one of the big deviant names set to get called out. That line might sound weird, but it explains exactly how Diddy's promotions fuse pop culture and faith, all under one dark, twisted umbrella.
Comedy Jam 25. It's good to see so many funny people together in one room, all wondering the same thing. Is Katt Williams gonna show up? Shit, I'm nervous as hell right now.
Yes! Yes!
Oh, he's right there. There he is. I didn't know he was right there. Nigga, I would not have said that if I had seen that. Yeah! Not used to quiet, introspective Katt Williams.
No.
But let me ask you this. When have you ever seen this many heavy hitters all together at the same time? In the same room? Yeah.
Right.
Kevin Hart gets a turn too as the so-called industry plant cat. Says Hart's movies from Ride Along to Night School only move forward after passing through Diddy's circle. Look at the credits, you'll find Puffy's venture arm in the mix, sometimes on soundtracks, sometimes an executive. Producer slots Hart's stand-up specials landed on platforms where Bad Boy had distribution deals. Those patterns aren't coincidences. They clearly show Hart's path to the top ran alongside Comey's empire in exchange for what only Katt knows.
So yeah, TD Jakes is on that list. And you know, Katt Williams, I don't know if he's a Christian or not. I don't think he is. His mouth would say maybe he's maybe has faith, but he's bearing fruits of repentance. But that podcast got well over millions and millions of views because he just blasted the industry. And basically the whole thing is your career's here. If we give you money and you join in on this debauchery, you join in on this sodomy, you join in on this pedophilia, you join in on these rituals, your career will go from here to here. And that's actually been seen if you look at a lot of different careers, including Taylor Swift's. She actually started rubbing shoulders with P. Diddy a long time ago, and then all of a sudden her career.
Now, we also know that TD Jakes is allegedly also a power bottom. And he's a much older man. And they say he's very enthusiastic in his endeavors. What happens when he pops something loose? You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because they're mentioning sex workers, but they're not mentioning women. They're mentioning men as sex workers.
Yeah.
Like is that a thing where like there's a website? I mean, what? It's just wild to hear like you mentioned the
You
normal.
never heard of Grindr?
I personally have not. That is what.
Why don't nobody ever talk about the fact that TD Cakes has an account allegedly on Grindr?